Hey everybody, welcome back to Duffy's Garage. I just wanted to touch base with everybody. It's been a while, and just wanted to give you something to look at and a few things to look forward to. So, this is essentially the finished product with the engine stand. So, just painted it up a little bit. I did some really crazy welds down below. I had to add some wheels on the front, and the good thing is this stand that I bought in the rear, it didn't have any lockers as far as locking the stand in place. So I bought those wheels from Tractor Supply, and now I'm able to lock the stand in place. I probably will still block the rear because this thing will shake a lot. I mean, just having the electric fans on shakes this thing. So, whoa, and I knocked over a bunch of stuff because my garage is full. So, I did a lot of stuff. It might not look like it, but just a lot of boring stuff that I really didn't want to put on the channel. I just wanted to crank it out and then, fill you in afterwards. So, as I said before, I didn't modify the stand. I just welded basically an extension for the radiator. It took me forever because with these radiator hoses, because I have a 71 block and a 65 radiator. So I bought a set of 71 radiator hoses, and they just didn't work out. They were really nice ones from CJ Pony Parts. So I ended up swapping them for a set of 65s, and the top one works fine, but the bottom one wasn't correct. So I just went and I got an adjustable one. You can see it has those like the rib style, and they're really really rigid. So once the radiator was bolted in place, I just kind of bent it up in there, and that was finally set, ready to go. So there was a lot to do with like bracing the frame, putting the wheels on, and then wiring everything up to the dash. So you could see the crazy wiring that has to be done. I hooked up most of the gauges for right now. I do have a universal throttle that goes back to, let me put these spark plug wires down. And then, of course, I have my starter solenoid that I'll install in a minute. But I have this hooked up to a bracket. It's just like a throttle plate-like bracket that I jimmy rigged on there myself. I still have to bolt the carb down in place. I'm waiting on that because I wasn't sure the final setup, if everything was going to work. But this was right off Amazon. This is a nice little throttle. And you'll see the carb will probably move because it's not bolted down, but there you go. So this is actually, it worked out pretty nice. Most of them are free, like your gas pedal where it would snap back. But this one actually, if I press it up, it'll, if you're watching that carburetor down there, it'll lock in place. So if I rev it up, it's going to be good for the break-in where I, raise it up to 2,000 RPMs or whatever. I can keep it there for 20, 30 minutes, break it in, and then bring it back down to an idle. So right here I have the volts, temperature, oil pressure. I have a nice cheapo tach. I have my ignition, my 12-volt power source, engine start, fan, electric fans. And essentially what I'm going to do, and let me put this somewhere I don't knock it over, is I have just a basic overflow here. Not sure how well that's going to work, but this is essentially my wiring so far, just for the gauges and whatnot. I have some positive and negative. My battery's just going to sit to the side. I was thinking about making a tray, but I don't think I need it. I'm just going to bring out a spare battery, and then I'm also going to lay down a fuel tank, probably on the other side of the battery so it doesn't spark or nothing. But I'm just going to run a 3/8 hose to my fuel pump, And that'll be that for the battery and the fuel. And let's see, I have to prime it, which I have my priming tool in my toolbox. So I'm going to have to take the Dizzy off. That's why the spark plug wires aren't hooked up or anything. So I'm going to pull all the plugs and I'm going to prime it. I do have some nice AMSOIL break-in fluid in there. I don't think I kept any of the cans. I'm not sure if I showed you that in the last video or not, but there is AMSOIL break-in fluid in it with the high zinc and whatnot. And so now I'm getting kind of nervous because this build has taken about a year. Now the engine hasn't had its camshaft in there for that long. It's been in there for maybe 6 months, give or take a few months. I'm not really sure exactly when it was put in. And then I've been building it and whatnot. And your break-in oil, it doesn't last and it doesn't protect like regular, fully synthetic, regular 10W30 or something. So in my mind, I'm thinking that my camshaft is getting a little rusty, but that might not be the case because right now it has the break-in fluid on it, the Ultra Slick, the assembly lube. So it has assembly lube on it. So I don't think it's going to rust, but after you break in an engine, that oil isn't set up for the protection. So once you break it in, you have to, do your break-in period and then change the oil. Sorry guys, my kids were talking to me through the window there. So hopefully just with the assembly lube on the cam, like the internals of the engine, I'm hoping they're not, starting to get a little bit of surface rust. But once I do that break-in, I know I have to do that for 20 minutes. And I'm sure, because I'm going to be so excited if this thing actually works, that I'm going to run it a little bit. But after that break-in period, you really need to change the oil. Because if you leave that assembly oil in there for too long, it doesn't provide that protection for surface rust. So you have to change it over to your normal, 10W30 full synthetic. So that's where I'm at right now. Let me tuck this in. I'm going to see if I can move this without. I'm doing everything one-handed. So now I know I've spoke to you guys before. Sorry, my big finger is blocking. Now I've talked to you before about that pulley. I think that's going to be okay. I'm definitely going to add some more pressure to that, try to get as tight as possible. But my next big purchase is going to be my flywheel in the back, my bell housing and all that stuff. So I think I'm going to run into a problem here because my engine stand is like right here. I know I'm probably, I pretty much know for sure that I'm not going to be able to do a bell housing without changing this mount over. Since the engine is on the mounts here in the front, I think I'd be able to kind of cut this off and then maybe weld like some weird extension up here to the headers. If I need to. I'm definitely going to have to do a separate video on this. But the reason why you guys might not hear from me for a while is because my next purchase is like a 2-in-1 purchase where I go and purchase headers, which I hope I don't have a clearance issue because you can also see my headers come off there, and then there's the back of the engine stand there. So I'm hoping that, with the way that the headers, come out, that it clears that. I'm hoping that it clears it this way, and I'm hoping that they don't drop down too low because this stand is right on the ground. So there's two major financial purchases that I need to make. And there's also two big clearance issues that I might end up having with this run stand. So hopefully, the headers should be the easier part. If they fit, they fit. If not, I'll have to modify that rear bracket anyway for the flywheel and the bell housing. So that's it, guys. I mean, pretty much after that, it's just a matter of figuring out, how to finish my start ignition button, because I've tested I have a 12-volt source. All my gauges light up. I have faith in them. I ran the fans. So it's just ignition to my solenoid. Wire from the alternator. I really don't have to do that for startup, but it's going to be wiring it to the starter on the bell housing, getting that flex plate and everything in the back buttoned up. I believe my coil is good to go. I have a bunch of shit running off the coil. I need to prime it, tighten up all the bolts, maybe modify a stand. And that's that, guys. So I do thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.